So after 11 years, I will tell you guys, I can easily get into a place of like, oh yeah, of course this is an amazing opportunity. Obviously, I've been living the good life for quite a while now, and I try to keep attentive to that so that I am sharing with my team in a way that they understand just how amazing this is. But this particular call, I feel all the more strongly about that. I took the month of December and I stood back a little bit. I gave myself some time to breathe and just really relax and enjoy life. And the things that kept popping up in my brain were the fact that this is the most extraordinary opportunity anybody can get their hands on. Maybe it was the fact that I did bring home, I think it was around $24,000 in December, and I took most of December off. I mean, who does that, right? Who can just say, hey, I'm taking the month off and not really worry about losing an income or having to ask a boss or anything of that nature. And it just brought back all of these really fresh thoughts and feelings about the first year I was in this business, which was when I went Jewel, my first year. Shauna can probably attest to that. It is indescribable what it is like to reach the Jewel level. And I remember my emotions were so stinking high that year. I could hardly sleep sometimes. We literally tagged it plexomnia my first year in this business because the excitement was so high. And those feelings started coming back to me because I was thinking about how luxurious this lifestyle is, but also I've been honing in on what corporate is doing, the transformations corporate is having right now. Now, you're going to hear about this on tomorrow's call, and I absolutely insist every one of you get on that call or listen to the recording of that call tomorrow. It is essential. You're going to hear a lot of it repeated at Super Saturday, but don't wait for Super Saturday. Take tonight's information and tomorrow's information and get your booty going so that you can reach your goals in 2025. This call is going to launch somewhat of a new concept for Plexus in terms of our processes. Now, for my upper level leaders, this is duplicating what I already taught my upper level leaders several months ago. But like with any new strategy, any new process, it takes time for everyone to kind of really grasp it, number one, and to marry it, to own it, to love it, to trust it, to know that that process is what you should be doing in order to make it to the top. Now, this process is not technically doing anything different than you've already done. Where the difference comes from, where my excitement comes from, to know that anyone who taps into this and does the work can have the lifestyle that I have and beyond, and the opportunity and the luxuries of this opportunity is the simplicity of it. I so love this process for its simplicity, and what the process that you're going to see roll out tomorrow and on Super Saturday, what a lot of my team members are already doing, is the resource workbook that we're going to show you tonight goes hand in hand, exactly follows what this process is, which is +1, add 2, 7 from everywhere. So some of you know what I'm talking about when I say that. And it is what is going to consistently bring duplication to your teams. So I will let the remainder of the talkers tonight tell you more about what that workbook looks like. What I want to say to you all is, who saw the $1 billion lottery last week? Raise your hand. Did anyone take note that there was a $1 billion lottery last week? If you did not, there was a $1 billion lottery last week. If you won that lottery ticket, $1 billion, drop it in the chat. What would you be doing right now? What would your life look like? What would your list of things that you were going to change about your life look like? Would you go start your project or your architectural design for a brand new dream home? Would you be buying a second home? Would you be paying off your kids' braces? Would you now be able to throw $100,000 into a bank account in order to pay for all of your college? Travel wherever you want to go.
Make sure he's a sugar-free day.
Yes, Shauna. I love that. I love that. Would you give to your greatest nonprofit? Maybe you've got a desire to adopt a child. Whatever the case might be, and I'm telling you, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Do not tell me you do not have a list a mile long of things you would do with a $1 billion lottery ticket. I know you all do. I even would have more to do with my life than I'm even doing right now. Okay. This is the my my list is way too long. Yes, exactly. I get that, Casey. I get that. What's the first thing you'd run out and buy tomorrow? Maybe you've got a favorite handbag you were looking at. I mean, it can be frivolous, it can be meaningful. It does not really matter. The fact is, anyone who comes to Plexus on day one has a list of things that they wish was different in their life when it comes to the business side, when it comes to opening up to the opportunity. You have a list of something that you would like in your life that is different. And what is so wicked cool about this opportunity is it's a lot like a scavenger hunt. Pay off all debt, fix the vehicles, build a shop. I hear you, Allie. My husband built his shop the first year we moved into our home. It's the first thing he did. Last year, I got my in-ground swimming pool. That was my big thing, right? Um, but imagine that you had a scavenger hunt that somebody came up and gave you. Here's a map. We're gonna create, we're gonna mimic one of these pirate shows or something that people love to watch, right, on TV. Here's your scavenger hunt, and there's a path that you go through. And every so often you hit a bump in the road, and that bump is where you dig. You dig and you dig and you dig. And when you pull something up out of that hole, it's the clue to the next piece of the puzzle. And when you get to the end of the puzzle, you win $1 million. That's what you're going to dig up is $1 million. Let's imagine that somebody gave you that scavenger hunt tonight. Okay. And they told you that when you do all the things, it is guaranteed. Literally, that money is sitting right there in that hole right now, and you have the pathway to get to it. All you have to do is follow the path, dig up the holes, and through each of the individual paths, things look different, they feel different, there's new challenges, but as long as you keep going, you get the $1 million. Now, if you knew that that was the case, how many of you would get off this call and go watch Netflix? How many of you? I mean, let's be real, right? None of us are turning on the Netflix if we know we have a path sitting in front of us on a sheet of paper that we just have to get busy. We would go follow that path. How many of us would wake up tomorrow morning and have a busy, bad, awful day and come home and be like, oh, that's right. That piece of paper is sitting over there. It's got all the answers in it. Literally all the answers are right there. It tells me exactly what I need to do. And the $1 million is there. It's already there. It's just sitting there. I don't know. I'll think about it. I think I'm going to call my friend Susie first. Like I got, maybe she and I can go get a drink. I'll look at that journal, that little pathway again a little bit later, right? None of us are going to be doing that because we know that that $1 million is sitting there. We're going to be spending every minute of our time going after it. And I'm telling y'all, that is exactly what the Plexus business is. And I really, really want to drive this home for you guys. You have a lottery ticket. You have a lottery ticket. Believe that. Exactly what you could put on that list today, if you won the $1 million lottery ticket, is the thing that you can create through this path. All of the answers to get to that end result are in your hands. Okay. Just had a go away. Yeah, it is pretty amazing. When I came to this first realization was my 4th month in this business. I came home from a leaders retreat. Some of my upper levels have heard of this story before. And I had been surrounded by a lot of people in this company that were very, very successful and making a lot of money every single month. And I came home and I kind of went, holy crap, because many of them had earned that income level inside of a year, inside of 2 years, like Shauna. And I did not realize that that was what I was holding on to up until that point. But as soon as I understood that, there was no more anything but Plexus. I was like, are you kidding me? So literally, if I just do this faster, more often, spend more of my hours doing this, I will just get to the end that much faster. But the end is there and it's achievable in this short period of time. That's what you're telling me. Now, maybe Shauna can comment on this later when she's talking, but based on what I've seen on her journey, she kind of had that same aha moment. And if I have this right and I interpret it correctly, it was around Senior Ruby, where she went, wait a second here. I need to just change X, Y, and Z and get my butt moving in this direction. Did a little adjustment to her sales. And that's mine. That's mine. And look where she was at. 2 years, right? Shauna? 2 years? Yeah, 2 years. And she's at a jewel level. She's going to Alaska in September. It's amazing. So what I'm trying to give you guys tonight is making sure that you're not missing the boat on this, that nobody on this call is misunderstanding or selling themselves short in terms of recognition that how grand this opportunity is, and that it's just a matter of you accepting it and seeing it for what it is, so that you attach that realization to your motivation to get disciplined and do the work and create the outcome that you want. Super available. This, once it clicks up here for y'all, you will be jewel before you understand how fast you can go jewel. Like, it will happen. And mostly because nobody sits around and watches Netflix or creates excuses when they realize what is there for them. The thing that had come to mind before, by the way, is if you're wondering, like, okay, $1 million is nice, but that's not what jewel level is, not $1 million. Just understand that I have made around $600,000 just in the last 3 years. So yes, I've made over $1 million in my 11 years here. I haven't bothered to sit down and count how much exactly I've made, but it is a massive amount of money that is absolutely life-changing. And if you're sitting back and going, why don't I talking about money? And I don't really think that making money should ever be an emphasis for anybody, because that just tells you who you are in your heart and it's all about you and your selfishness. Then you have money mindset roadblocks, and those can be overcome by self-development, because money is powerful and it can change not only your life, but the ripple effect of what it has on all the lives around you and what you do with that money. It is super powerful. For me, just a real quick note, because I want to give you guys some actual bullet points to take away from this. For me, it impacted my entire family first and foremost. I was on the verge of divorce. It saved my marriage. Once it saved my marriage, it grounded my family. We went from being volatile and argumentative and divisive to being one of the most close-knit families you will ever be witness to. And my marriage was 100% saved. That is, like, it's generational changing. It has created generational change for our family. So it's very, very powerful. Okay, so how do you show up to take advantage of this opportunity? How do you show up to take advantage of this opportunity? First of all, you have to decide what you want. There is no way to get an end goal in Plexus without first understanding what it is you want for yourself. So this is different than saying, oh my gosh, this would be nice. It'd be nice if I had this extra money. It'd be nice if I didn't have debt. It would be nice if I had a newer home. That is kind of a dreamy woo-woo thinking. It's not specific. So when I say decide what you want, I mean declare it, proclaim it. This is what I say about our team. This year is going to be the year of manifestation for this team. There are going to be so many goals met. It's not even going to be funny. And they are going to be met with ease, because we are going to master this process and repeat it with confidence over and over and over. So when you think about what do I want, that might be part of it. I not only want to be a jewel, but I want to be a jewel with ease and confidence and profound leadership that gives confidence to the people who are following me. So what do you want? Get very specific and very much in a place of understanding what that is specifically that you want. Okay. Once you know what you want, you have to say, all right, this is on paper. And if it's what I want, I need to go after it. And if I'm going to go after it, I can't be a leader who avoids things. I can't be a leader who sits in self-sabotage, laziness, What's the word I'm looking for? When you put things procrastination, nothing about procrastination. I have to be somebody who takes charge of where it is I want to go. I need to be disciplined. I need to be aware of what needs to be accomplished. I need to be aware of what I need to do to transform myself to become the person who can achieve these things. Okay? So leaders not being avoidable. That's a really important aspect. Okay. Or things I'm gonna recommend that you do. But before you do it, I want to make one more statement based on what I was just talking about. So with that idea of being a leader who's not in avoidance, become someone who is about taking action and finding solutions, not avoiding discomfort uh, and and becoming a problem solver. So there are a few things that are really, really important where that is concerned. And it is understanding and being aware of the things that we have resistance towards. Every one of us, this is the hard part of this business, by the way. The processes, the action steps are not what's hard. It's what is creating resistance to doing the action steps. So, perfect example is I'm super shy. I don't want to be sharing myself all over social media or sharing myself in public, even walking up and getting to know people. Like, that's not who I am. I'm super shy. Okay, that's resistance on doing the tasks that need to be accomplished in order to create the results of this business, right? So I need to dig. Where is that coming from? Oh, I know. I know where it's coming from. That started when I was in elementary and middle school, and I was being bullied a lot because I was the center of attention. And I didn't like all of that. So I made myself small and I backed myself into a corner. I stayed quiet. I put my head down. I got my work done. I went to school. I left. I didn't talk to anybody. I became shy. It was a protective measure for me. And now I don't like to put myself out there because I don't like the bullies. Guess what happens there? You don't put yourself out there, and not only do you not get your goals, but you limit the impact that you have for other people to be inspired and to grow in who they are and to reach their goals inside of Plexus, at least. Okay, so there's a huge amount of limiting factors. By the way, I just use an example from somebody exactly on this team right now who I talked to today about what was going on. These limiting factors are all over the place. I mentioned the part about like how you feel about money, um, limiting factors about helping somebody to duplicate. So being aware of what those limiting factors are and that resistance is and hitting that head on. Acknowledgement is huge. So with that, I'm going to go through 4 things that you can do to help these goals be facilitated in 2025, and it's going to incorporate some of what I just said. So number 1 is say out loud what you want in 2025. That's the exciting part, you guys. It's so exciting. What do you want in 2025? Feel free to drop it in the chat if you would like to do so right now. What do you want in 2025? The second step is tell someone what you want in 2025. Make sure that person is somebody that supports you, loves on you very well, and will be there for you. Okay. A husband, a best friend, a mom, sister, somebody like that. Tell that person what you want in 2025, which means what you are declaring. This is going to happen in 2025, period. Okay. Number 3, visualize. Oh my gosh, my upper level leaders know me, have heard me talk about this a million times. Came up again in a call that I was listening to. Visualization is so, so, so important. This means that you have to stop what you are doing from time to time, preferably every single day, and literally get into your head. How many times do I say that in Plexus? Never. I am always saying get out of your head, right? In this case, you want to get into your head. If you want a jewel level, then you need to see yourself on a ship looking at the mountains of Alaska, watching the polar bears swim around outside of an iceberg, seeing the whales jumping out of the water. Visualize that every single day for yourself. See it happening. Hey, Caitlin, girly girl, I didn't even know you were on this call. I'm so happy to see you. I've just been focusing on what I've been saying, didn't even realize you were there. I love you, girl.
Hi,
Okay.
I just turned my camera off and muted myself because the babies were climbing all over and so loud. I finally got them down. So didn't want to distract anyone.
No problem. It's good to see your face.
Oh,
Mwah.
you too.
Um, and then thinking about that end result, that is what is going to also be that motivating factor, right? Believing that this opportunity can get you that end result. So thinking about the end result and not the current problem. All right. Don't get wrapped up in the current problem. Think about end results. And along with not getting wrapped up in your current problems, by the way, is also remembering not to allow your history to dictate your future. It does not matter what has happened to you up until this point whatsoever. It doesn't matter that it's taken you an entire year to get to silver or senior silver. That does not mean that it cannot take you a whole next year to get all the way to diamond. That is doable. You can actually do that, even if it took you a whole year to get senior silver. Doesn't matter. Don't let what happened before determine how fast you run in the future or what is possible for you. The last thing is stop and journal. Create some journal questions for yourself about awareness. So those are things like, what is coming up for me right now? Why am I feeling like this? Where is this coming from? What meaning have I given this aspect of my life or these thoughts that are coming up for me? What meaning have I given them? Are they valid? Is this valid and real? Or is it just associated with something terrible that happened in my past that actually isn't applicable to the current situation, but I have transcended it into this moment? And really, I'm just giving it the meaning, but it's not even reality. Okay. So journaling these questions and kind of working your way through what you're currently thinking, and then asking yourself, how do I need to switch this? How do I need to renew my brain, my thoughts, and how I view things and how I feel about things and my perspective? Journal and then pray over that. That is so, so important. Those last two items, visualization, journaling, and prayer, will take you to diamond. I assure you of that, because that's where it lands. 80% of this business starts with your thoughts. 20% is skill. 80% starts with your thoughts. And with that, I'm going to leave you with this before I hand it over. It is Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, which, by the way, will almost always create the resistance that you are feeling about something. Shameful about talking about money, fear of people's judgment, fear of of success, fear of failure. All of those things are of this world. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is what is going to make you a jewel in 2025. This is what is going to help you to understand that this is a lottery ticket, to actually see it for yourself instead of just hearing it and have it going in one ear and out the other, like, okay, yeah, that's really cute. I'm sure that's possible. No, it is possible. It is real. It is absolute for every single person willing to accept it. But if you can't see this opportunity for what it is, there's no way you're going to create it. The first thing you have to do is be able to see it and understand it and believe it up here before you can ever create it out there. Okay? So make sure that you follow those 4 steps. Actually, I'll say 5. First of all, don't be an avoider. Leaders are not avoiders, they're action takers. So become an action taker in 2025. Say out loud what you want. Tell somebody close to you that is supportive of you and loving towards you. Visualize what you want on a daily basis. Stop and journal. Ask yourself meaningful questions. Journal about those questions and then pray over that. Give it to God and allow your mind to be transformed. Okay. With that, I am done on my part and I'm going to hand over to Casey. She is going to start you off with a workbook. That is going to be your paper in hand, your visual, something that you can actually look at and follow every single day of every month to create exactly the roadmap that you need, the constructive roadmap, the to-dos, the action steps to get what you want. Before I give it to Casey, Caitlin, are you hopping off the call? You're muted. You're muted.
No, I was just sending a message that how good that was.
Oh, thank you. But are you going to stay on the call?
Yeah.
Okay, when we're all done, if you have
Yeah.
anything you want to add, like hop on and say it at the end.
Okay.
Casey, you're up.
Hey everyone, so I'm so stoked about our workbook that we have. I have been wanting something for a long time that is tangible, that we can have in our hands, that helps put together the 1+2, the process that Tanya had rolled out with us back over the summer. And if you've been wanting something that is going to help you stay organized, this is it. There's only going to be a couple pages that you have to add to it each month, but otherwise, this thing will pretty much stay consistent. When Tanya gets to the slide, I'm going to give you my interpretation of what I feel like this slide is about. And the one thing I will say is when you see the word elevated and you think about elevate, I want you to think of that from a leader position and think about up leveling your thoughts. So not thinking about, if this is a side hustle for you, that's great. If it's not, you need to up level your thoughts and put your entrepreneurship hat on and look at these thoughts and your why from that perspective. I had, and Caitlin actually recommended this book not long ago, called Hustle, and it really helped me start to think about things from a leader perspective. I've always been a leader at heart. I've always been one of those ones who second guess that part of me and my abilities, and Tanya would tell you. But that's where you have to drop the fear and you just have to own it. And I know that's hard sometimes, but it is doable. So when you look at this sheet and the first thing it talks about, it says how to create a different result. And we can sit and spin our wheels all day long, right? But you need to think outside of the box and you need to think like, if I've been doing this over and over again and it's not working, well, then it's time to do something different. And that's why I love these elevated thoughts because it really gets you in the mindset of thinking outside of the box and thinking about doing something from a very different perspective. The main piece here on this sheet is what is your why? If you don't know to your core what your why is, you will spin your wheels over and over again because you will not know what you're working towards. So if you have not figured out your why, I would really take some time throughout this weekend to really pray about it and really come to terms with why you are doing this business. I know my why. It's always been for me. I do this business for me at my core. It is what I love. I mean, of course, my family is important, but I do this business for me. It is what fills my cup. Helping people is what fills my cup. So I really, like, you really have got to get passionate about your why. It is the core of your business. Next, it's going to talk about elevated thoughts about the product, then Plexus Worldwide, the compensation plan, your ideal business partner. This is probably by far my favorite because this is the one spot I feel like we don't focus on enough. And then it talks about elevated thoughts as a leader. You want to think about as you're answering these questions who your audience is. Who is your targeted audience? My audience may be very different from Caitlin's audience or Shauna's. I mean, we all, and Hannah's, we all live in different parts of the world. Yes, we're all moms, so we all have, that similar demographic that we're targeting to. But I find a lot of people in my financial world who are stuck at a desk all day long. So you really, as you're thinking about these questions, you want to think about your targeted audience as you're doing so. There's a couple examples. Tanya, if you'll go down, I just want to talk about a few of them that I like the most. When you think about the products, and my favorite one on this one It says it helps people no longer suffer but thrive. That is probably my favorite elevated thought about that product that she gives an example about, because so often we find people who feel like suffering is the norm. They don't know any different. So really like thinking about that thought, and then it says, who are you serving? And then making that very clear. I help moms looking for extra income. So when you answer these questions, you're thinking about, okay, who is my targeted audience? Um, and then just to give an example for the ideal business partner, think about people you are intimidated by. And I know that probably doesn't set well with certain people, but you want people who are like-minded, who, when you see them, you think, oh, they're go-getters. They're already out there in the world. It's not someone you're going to have to drag with you, because that is only going to hold you down. We find that so often. I think we go for those kinds of people in our business because it's easy. It's that easy conversation to have. You feel like and not that you're not offering them something, but I think when instead of going for people that we might necessarily be not intimidated of, it's the easier target. Whereas going for someone that you are intimidated by, I think we all stop because, like, what do I have to offer her? Well, you have this business to offer them. That's what you have to offer them. And that is like where we have to up level our minds and stop thinking from a small-minded view. You are doing that person a huge disservice by not offering them this business, that lottery ticket that Tanya was talking about. That's what you have to offer those people, because you could change their life so drastically. They're probably great at what they do, but were they like me, who spent 15 years in a corporate position and all you've done is clawed your way to the top because nothing about it has been easy? And, so it's things like that. Like, you have to up level your thoughts, get out of your own way, and go for the people that intimidate you, and stop taking the easy target and dragging people with you, because you can't want this business more than they do. Like, if they don't want it, there's nothing you are going to say, nothing you are going to do that is going to change their mind. If they don't want to do the work, because it is just like Tanya said, it is more will than skill. This business is easy to learn, to do. The hard part is getting people to do it because they're so stuck in their own way. They won't get out of their own way. Fear eats people alive. So that's my spiel on this.
Thank you,
I won't
Casey.
go so far into overcoming fears because I could talk all day long about it, but that's
Yes.
my spiel.
Thank you for that. That was awesome. I'm just going to use one more example too, because I just love it. But it says elevated thoughts about myself as a leader.
Mm.
I am a leader who helps others. What I offer changes lives.
Yeah.
I can help her to help other people. These are all thoughts of a leader, good, solid thoughts of a leader. Think about what you think about yourself as a leader right now. Leading means duplication, right? You have people duplicating on your team. Do you know what the number one thing is that I hear people say? I don't want her to think that I'm being pushy. I don't want her to think I'm being pushy. So I don't want to really talk to people. I'm not good at that. I tried. I asked her to share. She wouldn't share. That is resistance in your brain telling you this isn't going to work, or the fears of judgment of other people popping up. But when you change your thoughts and you elevate and you say, I can help her, I can help her, that changes your energy. That changes your belief in yourself and your belief in you as a leader, and how you show up will change the outcome. That's why this blueprint is so important. You start to create these sentences for yourself, and you start creating your new beliefs. New thoughts create new beliefs. Those things create new feelings. And from that, you create new outcomes because your energy changes. So, based on everything I just said, this is your blueprint to create what will make you successful in 2025. So So just kind of wanted to, one more too that I love is $10 to start plus 100 PV minimum is a steal. You know how many people over 11 years have told me our products are expensive? It makes me shiver inside because I'm like, expensive? What do you think these products should cost when they are literally eliminating dozens of medications for people and helping them to get up and be pain-free and just go to the bathroom and do all the things. Like, how are these expensive? They're not expensive. Our products are a steal. Now imagine how you would show up for people if you changed your belief process to say that. So that's what this sheet is about. Taking all those resistant feelings and thoughts that you have, up level, up level, up level. You will change your whole business. It's amazing. All right, next up is our amazing newest jewel, Shauna Severson. Please take it away, girl.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you all, but I have some people on here too. By the way, I love that you said that you should look for business builders that intimidate you, because so many people don't like to be challenged, I think. I have people on this call that intimidate the crap out of me, like my leaders. They're my strongest legs. They are a blessing from the dear Lord. They are exactly what I prayed for. But they force me to be better every single day. So I love, love, love that you said that, Casey. But let's move on to I'm going to pull it up on my screen too because it's kind of small here. The rank up sheet, the monthly goals strategy sheet. Do this every single month for yourself, but also use this as a tool to help your team, your leaders feel empowered as well. You can do it individually with them, or you can get like on a team call together, do it together, share your goals, kind of like as an accountability partner, however you want to do it as a leader. But I do encourage you to do this with me as I'm explaining it. I sent this to my team ahead of time, hoping they printed it out and they can do it as we go. If you didn't print it, totally fine. Grab a sticky, just roll with me and you can fill it out later. But let's start with the mapping section right up at the top. So box A, where did your points end last month? You got to know where you are starting from to get where you're going. So let's just assume for easy numbers, easy math, you're a senior silver and you ended with exactly 70 points. Okay. So we're gonna put 70 in A. You do what you want though, like do where your points were last month, not where I'm going with it. Okay. Now moving on to B. Sometimes life gets in the way, finances get in the way, whatever. So we need to assume this is not actual, but it's a great base number to like use, that we're going to lose 10% of our points from last month. Okay. Because people get busy, they turn their subscriptions off, whatever. Okay. So in this scenario, 10% of 70 points is 7. So box B would now be 63. That's our new starting number. Okay. We're going to assume that we are going to have 63 points no matter what this month. And then box C, this is your goal. It's a new month. Where do you want to be on January 28th when all subscriptions have ran? So if I'm senior silver, I had 70 points last month. My next rank is gold, okay, which is 100 points. But I don't just want 100 points if I'm at 70 points. Okay, I want a cushion. I want to go past gold. So maybe my goal is 125. Okay, but let's say if you are a ruby right now, like I'm talking to you guys, if you're a ruby moving towards senior ruby and you're at like 550 points, okay, you're a new ruby, 750 might be a stretch for you. Okay, so now let's do something that is more doable. Okay, like 650. I'm not saying that you can't hit 750 because you totally can. From 550 to 750 is doable. I've seen it happen on my team. But let's just say you have a goal of 650. What I'm saying is you don't have to have it as your next rank up. Yes, this is a tool for ranking up, but if you just want to be realistic with yourself and where you've been in the past and where you're going, you can definitely just do like a point, okay, instead of ranks. Or maybe you are a gold, okay? You're a gold, but you're not being paid as a gold because you fell back to like 40 or 50 points. Have that goal be re-ranking gold, okay? Put 100 points in there instead of reaching for senior gold because that's your next rank. Just focus on baby steps to get where you want to go. So put that wherever you want to be, okay? But for our example, we're doing 125. If you are new here, I don't think anybody is, but I don't know. Tanya, would you just switch it to 2 pages from here, please?
Forward.
Yep. Yep, right there. Those are the different ranks. Okay. It's a good visual to see where the points are, what you need to rank up. But also just to see where you want to be with your business. Maybe you don't want to be a jewel. Maybe you do. Maybe you want to take it all the way to the top. I like this visual because it has the Lexus on there, and that was always what I had. You guys, look what my little guy. Oh, I'm knocking everything down. Look what my little guy made me. He made me this like a year ago. It's a little
Oh,
Lexus
I
sign.
love
How
that.
cute. He was I think he was more excited than me when I hit Emerald. I'm not kidding. I was in shock and he's just like, I can't wait to get our Lexus. But it is so nice to just like kind of see that, to see where you want to be. Um, so get clear on what your goal actually is. And that's the point of this call, this workbook. That's why you're here tonight. You want to get clear on where you're going. And this just lays it out for you. Okay, thanks, Tanya, for going back. So that was box C. Sorry, I got off topic. We want to shoot a little past gold, so we're doing the 125 points. Now we move to box D, which tells us to take B away from C. So if we take 125 points and we take away the 63, then that means I need 62 points, right? No, wait, did I do that wrong?
No, you didn't. I don't know what the bottom number is. 125 minus 63. What is that? I don't know.
I did my head. Oh, I did it. I did it right. Look at that. 62. Yes.
Okay.
So I need 62 more points in order to hit my goal. Okay. This is where action comes into play. We're not done just because we need 62 more points from day one every month. You need to intentionally show up and work your business if you actually want to achieve your goal. So no one is sitting back there waving a magic wand, and points are not going to just magically appear. You have to work your business every single day. Okay. So this is where we figure out how many actual people we need to hit those 62 points. Okay, that's box E. And we're going to divide it by 5. 62 divided by 5. I was not going to do that one in my head. I knew that was a decimal. 12.4. Okay, so we need 13 people this month in order to hit our goal. And why we're doing the 5 points, it's just kind of a magic number that you use, because if you are in that senior silver to gold, you're assuming you're going to get 6 points from your own, but like 5 points from your level 2s and 3s. That's usually what you're getting. So that's what I like to divide mine by. And Jessica Heffley, thank God, was doing the same thing. So we're going to divide by 5. As you grow bigger and deeper, that number is going to decrease because you're going to have more, level 4s, level 5s added to your team, and you don't get 5 points from them. But for now, we're going to just divide by 5. Okay. So we need 13 people this month to hit our goal. And now we're on to recruiting. I hope I'm not going too fast. I'm sorry.
No, it's great.
Okay, great. Okay, so on to recruiting. This month, my team needs box E, which we just figured out was 13 new people in order to hit our goal. Okay, and they need to be 100 PV orders too as well. You guys know that though. But how many are you going to personally enroll? And then how many do you expect your team to enroll? So the total of those two last lines should equal your first one. So as I always try to get 4 people as a level 1. That's just like my go-to. At minimum, I try to get 4 people. Doesn't always happen, but that's mine. So if I need 13 and I personally am going to get 4, then that means my team, I need to help my team get 9 more people in order for me to hit my goal of 125 points. Okay. So now let's take it a step further. This is about leadership development. This is not about doing this all on your own. Could you? 100%. You could absolutely hit 125 points by yourself with level 1s. Absolutely you can, but it's not sustainable. You need to rise other leaders up. Too many times in my own downline, I have seen people hit gold and they cannot sustain gold points because they're not creating business builders. And if you don't do that, you will not remain. You're just going to keep bringing people in and people will keep falling off because it's just the nature of what we're doing here. It's just the nature of the business. You cannot make everybody buy the supplements that we have. It's just not going to happen. So this is so much more fun when you're helping other people get a paycheck. Plus, when you get more people hitting silver, senior silver, gold, you're going to start seeing yourself hit those higher ranks like ruby, senior ruby, emerald. I would not be where I am today without my primary leg hitting senior ruby. It wouldn't have happened. because she had somebody hitting Ruby. Like, that's just how this business works. And that is what is sustainable. So this is also the next sheet. You can scroll. You can use that next sheet if you want. Put those people over here. Who are you developing? And who are they developing? Who are they helping to get to silver? Who are those people helping to get to silver? So I like that page for just a nice visual if you are a visual person. Just nice to map it out.
Besides, if I could interject, besides it being a nice visual for you, by the way, there is power in writing down somebody's name and writing down the people that they will be developing underneath of them and things of that nature and filling that all in. That is manifestation. That is prayer. That is belief. It's building confidence in who you are and what you are creating. It's like writing down a goal. Super, super important aspect here.
Yep, 100%. That's the whole point of all of this, is because like writing it all down is
holding yourself accountable.
Yep.
You're seeing this. You're holding yourself accountable. You're not just flying by the seat of your pants. You have a pathway in which you can follow by following our processes. And to go with what Shauna was saying about duplication, 100%. Everything she said was golden. And if you listen to that and you're like, oh, that's the problem I have in my business, I can never duplicate. As I said earlier, I gave this as an example. That is a resistance you have in your brain because you've told yourself you can't duplicate. We all have these. My resistance has always been, I'm not a good recruiter. Guess what I have changed? I've changed my thoughts about recruitment. I am a good recruiter. I absolutely can sign people every single month as to the above and beyond. I'm also with Shauna for above and beyond that. I can sign bigger and bigger numbers. That's not a problem. The first thing I have to do is change that thought, because your brain will go to work to create what you tell it to. So if you tell yourself, I am not a good recruiter, or I'm sorry, I'm not good at duplication, I'm not good at helping these people, you're going to meet that resistance is going to be met with the real world, and you're not going to be successful. So the first thing you have to do is feel that resistance, journal through it, pray over it while you are writing these names down, and then step into confidence with, yes, I have new renewed mind. I have new renewed thoughts. I will help people. I will change lives in health and finances, the two most difficult things that people battle every single day. And I'm here to make that happen. So I just wanted to share that. You have anything more, Shauna?
Yeah, can you go up just really quick? I want to touch on the rank or the bonuses. Okay. You guys should focus on the fast start bonuses. Their clock starts as soon as they convert to ambassador. So make sure that they do that. They convert over as soon as they help somebody. As soon as that referral link is used, make sure that they convert before Saturday. Okay. There is even a fast start tab in your back office to see who on your team is still eligible for those. Once they pass one and they didn't hit it, it doesn't stop going. So just keep an eye on that, because it's still possible for them to do that. And let me excite you a little bit about these. When you, as their sponsor, help somebody achieve a fast start rank, you get half the bonus. So that should be a little incentive for you to try to like help them even quicker. So it's extremely important that you're honing in and just helping people rank up, especially fast start. But everything that I just talked about with this monthly goal strategy, it can be fun and it can be cute, and you can fill this out and you can set it aside set it to the side of your desk until the 28th comes and all the subscriptions ran and you didn't get to where you wanted to go because you didn't actually put this into action. Okay. And then you're in panic mode. Again, the last 3 days of the month after all subscriptions ran, it's just a vicious cycle. So once you fill this out on the first of the month, actually take action. Okay. And do the things. Hannah, on to you.
Okay.
And what are the things, everyone? Say it with me. IPA. IPA. That is what you're doing every single day to make these sheets come to life. And here is Hannah to help you go through a sheet that is going to keep you accountable to yourself every single week.
So I actually thought it was kind of funny that I just was like, sure, I'll do this part because my notebooks, they've gotten a lot better, but when I first started, they would be literally random notes and I would like cross through as I did things. There was no like order to them, nothing. So I'm still getting better at my APA. I will just put that out there. I am not fantastic at it yet, but everyone's always learning. So with these monthly action steps are going to be like your key performance indicators or measurable action steps that you're going to take throughout each week to meet those goals. So I'll just go along with what Shauna said. If you have a goal to rank up to gold this month, so each week it may be one of your key performance indicators would be so many reach outs. I'm going to do so many reach outs a day, which that kind of goes to your weekly action sheet also. So these kind of tie in together, which is the next sheet. But things that are going to level up your leadership. It could be that you're going to get, a team member, each team like silver. This week, I'm going to take Kim to silver, and then the next week, and those types of things. And like the weekly action sheet would be. Like how many personal VIPs I want this month, new VIPs on the team. So this kind of ties into also what Shauna covered also with just mapping it out on your goals. Um, so the biggest thing with this is helping you stay on track and it helps you stay accountable. So for your first week, if you've wrote down 2 goals for you, 2 goals for your team, and then you have to hold yourself accountable and say, okay, did I hit these goals and did I or did I not? And then the biggest thing is not avoiding them, just like Tanya talked about. I'm a big avoider with duplication and things like that. I'm getting a lot better. So definitely talking to myself here too, but this is going to help hold me accountable, and these are also going to keep me way more organized. I'm sure you guys are thinking the same thing. But this is going to give me action steps. So I actually have it wrote down, not in my head. And I'm sure you guys have mom brain like me, and it's a whole jumbled, tangled mess in there. And I will forget things and say, oh, I'm going to do this tomorrow. And then it's 3 days later, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to do that. So these weekly and monthly action sheets are for doing that. If you go ahead and scroll down to the weekly action sheet, it kind of gets into more of an in-depth of each week, like your goals that you wrote down on your monthly one. You're going to go in like, okay, connecting with your ordering customers, and you're going to write down who you're going to do that. So like your follow-ups, how they're doing on their products, connecting your reach outs with your non-ordering customers, posting, duplicating, doing welcome calls, 3-way chats. So it's just organizing your brain on a piece of paper, which I think would help a lot of us because I'm sure a lot of us have mom brain just like I do. So kind of helps us, like Jessica Huffley said in the thing, steer the boat. And I know we're all guilty of it. There's one person on here, I won't say their name, cough, cough, you know who she is, but she likes to wait till the end of the month to work. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she made me have lots of sweat stains, let's just say at the end of December this year, or I guess last year. But anyways, so it's just, we can work all month long. And if we keep, she just commented. So if we need to really be heavy in those first 2 weeks, trust me, I used to work all the time at the end of the month. And if I am very, especially like, this is just an example. In October, we went on vacation, and I knew that I wanted to have recruitments, posts, things like that, all scheduled out and things like that. I worked the first 2 weeks of the month to where, like, when I was on vacation, I was answering messages. But guys, I didn't really have to do much while I was on vacation. I was able to be like present with my family, things like that, because I already worked ahead and got myself all just organized and stuff. So this is definitely, you're like me, I'm a type A person, but as far as organization and things like this go, it's just a whole haywire of a mess for me. So I 100% work the first 2 weeks of the month, like, or first 2 weeks for sure, because it's just easier. And then for me, if I'm trying to rank up, okay, I've got these first 2 weeks. This is where I'm sitting at. Tanya, I know I was asking Ashley, and they used to be in the help center, but do we still have the calendars that I was trying to find them in my pictures, but my camera roll has like 30,000 things in it. So it's hard to find them. But like if you're ranking up to a certain goal, like what your points should be kind of like each day, are those still circulating anywhere?
They're
They're in
circulating.
Trello.
I don't have them in one specific spot because
Okay.
I don't actually follow that type of mapping. So that is a little bit different than the mapping that we're doing here.
Well,
Um,
yes, but it kind of
but
helps
it does.
get you.
It absolutely does. We have Jules on our team that is that is golden. That is their Bible. They go off that daily points. So if we can find them, we can certainly share them. And if you want to follow that, that is awesome. Yeah, we can do
Yeah.
that.
It just, for me, I've gone more to an IPA, but for me, with those, if I'm trying to rank up or better my points, it's just okay, this is kind of where I should be. It's not oh my God, I'm 15 points behind this, like, get crazy, but like, okay, what can I do? And then I'm going to edit these sheets and I may connect with more people or do more reach outs, things like that. It's just a good reminder to me, like, okay, here's where I kind of sit and this is where I need to go from here. So that is kind of where I'm at on that. That's the big, I mean, I think I've said it now 3 times. I'm rambling at this point, but literally, I can't stress it enough. Don't wait till the last 3 days of the month. Like, we can we don't have to do that. And
Yeah.
I just
If
want to go ahead.
if I can interject just to go along with what
Mhm.
the point you're trying to make. So this sheet is maybe one of the most important sheets of this entire document in my mind. As a Jewel, when I look at this, I'm like, this is the cat's meow. Okay. Because what we typically do, there's not one person on this call that waits till the end of the month to push for things. There's many people on this call and
Mhm.
beyond who wait till the end of the month to make something happen. But guess what happens at the end of the month? Many people make it happen. And all that does
Yep.
is show the power of intention and action. So at the end of last month, for instance, we had a gal go gold and her level 1 go senior silver. And they did all of their signing, or the majority of their signing, in the last several hours of the day of the final day of the month. Nothing wrong with that. But my point is, if you can make that much movement in your team in one half day of a month, imagine if you did that every day and each week. So if you get to the end of a week and you have a goal here on week 1, for instance, I want to take somebody
Mhm.
senior, I want to take somebody on my team silver. Let's call her Katie. I'm going to take Katie silver this month. So by end of week 1, she has to have one person sign. If you have this KPI in front of you and you are sitting at Saturday morning and Katie does not have one person signed, guess what you're doing on Saturday? You're getting her one person. And yes, you can. You absolutely have plenty of time to do that. But the point is, you're not going to let Saturday roll into Sunday without whatever is on this KPI being achieved. It has to be done. This is how you avoid getting at the end of the month and going, oh my God, I have to push, I have to push, I have to push. No, no, no. You pushed each Saturday for 4 weeks, and now all of your goals are in line and you're right on target to hit what you need. It makes this business balanced instead of stressful while still being able to control your end result of what you want. It's a really important sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
Did
ahead.
you, and so these weekly action sheets are basically your IPAs, and you can use whatever IPA you want. We have lots of different options for that. Did you have anything more to say about that, Hannah, or did you just want to wrap it up with the questions?
Well, yes, I just had one more thing. I was just going to say,
Okay.
I used to be very against IPAs. Like I said, I had notebooks with random things written and just crossing out and things like that. I just wanted to leave it with just once I started organizing my thoughts and organizing what I was doing. Last leaders, I walked on a plane at only 211 for my points. I just will always go back to this because it was such a huge moment for me. 211 for points, like, I suck, this is terrible, I don't think this is for me. I and we were sitting around a table and we were talking about Punta Cana and I was like, I'm not going to be there, this is dumb. I mean, my morale was pretty low, guys, and I finally just was like,
My husband walked off of this ship with me, and he said to me, she's not going to make it. That's how low Hannah's morale was. And Hannah knows this already. I already told her. But
Yes,
like,
yes.
no joke. Even my husband doesn't say anything about anything. He could care less. He doesn't involve himself with my business at all. So this was really out there for him to say that.
And I just want to put it out there that once I started organizing my thoughts and being more intentional about what I was doing and things, and I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but guys, I swept the convention contest and I also just swept leaders contest. So it's never too late to pivot and make a turnaround and things like that. So that's where I'm going with this. Like I was very resistant to an IPA and I thought they were dumb. Let's just be honest. I was like, I don't have time for it. I'll just write down random things and I'll get it done and it'll be fine. But I'm just saying once I started organizing my thoughts, it was a much better thing for me.
But do you remember
So
how many points you gained when you went back home and changed your attitude?
yes, Kiana
Do you
started
remember how
sharing
many
and Jesse
points?
started sharing, which Jesse just earned leaders cruise. That's who stressed me out in December. But it was so worth it. I'm so excited she's coming. She's coming. I know
Yes.
it's like waitlisted, but she's coming. It's happening.
It's pretty amazing
So
what you do when you change your mindset.
yeah,
And her change of mindset was IPA is not stupid. It is
yeah,
necessary and it works and it is what creates goals.
yeah.
Last part of this, real quick.
Yep, I can go ahead and so just kind of some coaching questions just to kind of sit and think about. And as I was reading through them, I didn't write anything down just because I was getting ready for the call and I was already like sweating through my clothes anyways. But um, they're really good questions. And I would definitely sit with them a little bit, kind of let them simmer in your brain, write some things down. I'll just go through them really quick. It's what's your biggest strength as a leader and how can you capitalize on that? What is your biggest weakness as a leader, and how can you lean into this area or utilize teamwork to fill the gaps? What are you avoiding or resisting in your business and why? How many hours a week do you work your business, and how many of those are set aside protected work hours? So, when Jessica Heffley was talking about this, she was very much on the protected work hours. Like, I think as moms, we're very good about kids come first, which they do, but we always need to make sure that we're setting aside time for us to be able to work our business also and actually have those as like protected work hours, non-negotiable type hours is what she was talking about. And what also is your goal and your why is what I would add there. Why have you not already reached that goal? And honestly, that was really that was one question I didn't think about it that way, but I sat in that question a lot when I first came back. I'm not very long, but because I took action pretty quick, but I sat in that and I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like I don't want to be in this place. And so I think being honest with yourself is a huge thing for us, because it will honestly give you the answers to what is holding you back. It will. And most 99% of the time, what's holding you back is yourself and it's your mindset, like Casey kind of talked about. And then the last one is what thoughts do you need to intentionally practice to create the feelings and actions of a person who meets their goals? So I
Yes.
thought those are really good questions.
These are great questions for you to ask yourself, and they're great questions for you to have your downlines be answering before you coach with them the first time, or if not, the follow-up times. Have them go through this sheet and answer these questions and send you a picture of the answers so that when you get on a coaching call, you know where they're at and you know from which direction you need to lead them and guide them based on what they are answering in these questions. So use that both for yourself and in coaching others. Okay, that wraps it up for tonight, you guys. It's over an hour. I appreciate your time. Hopefully, you appreciate yourself for taking the time for this call because it is one of the most important calls you will have all year. Following this format and holding yourself accountable for completing it and following through with it every single month, which requires discipline over laziness, discipline over excuse making, that is going to get what you want. And even though in the moment it may feel like it's hard to do, it is going to be so worth it because The easy thing to do in the moment is to couch potato. And yes, that is way easier than actually doing work. But if you couch potato every single day instead of doing the work now, because that's easy, you will live with the hard parts of your life forever. If you do the hard right now, you will get rid of the hard parts of your life in the future, never have to worry about the hard parts, and live in the easy. So give up a little bit of what could be easier for you today so that you can have easier the rest of your life. That's literally how this process rolls out. Believe in yourself, grow your confidence, pray over yourself and your business, and do the work. All right. I think we do not have, oh yeah, we do. Caitlin, do you have any last thoughts? Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up.
Oh, sorry, my camera turned around. That was all incredible, and I'm not going to take any more time because you guys
Perfect.
all nailed everything on the head, but thank you for everything. And I will just say, to touch on what Tanya said, when you are in this thinking pattern, you will also start to be aware and be able to coach and catch when your ambassadors start speaking things out loud. Like, well, what if my customers say it's too much money? You can immediately stop them and say, well, what I'm picking up is that you believe the products are too much money. So let's stop that right there. Let's focus on your thoughts before then you can excel and speak success into your future business. The more that you are working on it yourself, the more you're going to be aware of it in your business and be able to help coach all of the people that God brings you.
Awesome. Very well. Those are very wise words to end this call. For those of you who don't know, Caitlin is a double jewel. She took herself and her husband to Jewel this past summer. She's an amazing person and a light to the world for sure.
Oh.
All right. Thank you all to all of my leaders for bringing yourselves and your thoughts and wisdom to this call for all of us to utilize. I appreciate you in big, big, big ways. Let's all go out and have the most amazing 2025. Take care, you guys.